Brother, this might be the sauciest. Yes, sir. We are cooking with this build. We're cooking with this build. Give me that. Yes, sir. Yep. They released Joker. So, I was maybe going to do one more video in regards to Sonic Crossworlds. I'm not going to lie. I've been playing this game even more, so there's probably another 2 or 3 videos coming down the pipeline. But I definitely did not expect for them to actually release Joker during this network session. I figured, they weren't going to release any of the crossover characters until after this session for either to save it to the release, or if they were to drop a random network session a week or 2 from now. But with it being so close to the release date, I figured, they're going to keep it as a way to draw people in. And then Joker came out. So here we are. First of all, I'll say, again, I still think these collaborations are really cool. They're going to bring in people, I would think, that, just for, because it's a kart racer. I think kart racers are the most approachable for pretty much any type of player. So, the Joker fans, the Hatsune Miku fans, even some Minecrafters, I assume, will inevitably make their way down to the game. But there's 2 things I wanted to talk about. The first one in regards to Joker. I think I played the Joker character for maybe 2 hours. I'm going to tell you one thing. They definitely have to rethink not having voice acting. The fact that Joker just kind of stands there and doesn't say anything. He has no reactions. I get it. You can't make him interact with all the characters. That's fine. But even some generic voice clips, you take them from the games. Guys, give me something. I think it's just so weird to hear the announcer whenever you would hear something from the character when you're playing with Joker. I feel like it just kind of ruins the immersion a little bit. And after playing him for a while, you do start to pick up on that. I think from the footage that they've released from Hatsune Miku, she has a couple of sound bites that I think I've seen people say that are either sound bites that have existed from other media that they've done. So it's nothing that's been new, right? It's a Vocaloid person, right? So it's nothing that they've recorded new specifically for the game. But, they're using it from other media. I think that's definitely something that they could do with Joker. I just think, again, it ruins the immersion. I think it's so cool to have these collaborations. Joker, his animations are sick. I think he has the sauce. I'm just going to say, he has the sauce. So, I think they need to throw in some voice clips. It ruins the immersion, in my personal opinion. Let me know if you agree with that down below. But the second thing that I've seen, I just said the collaborations are likely to bring people in. But I have seen people starting to talk about the price point. And I will actually say, 70 I think is the deluxe. I think it actually is going for 50. But 50 I still think is a lot. It is quite truly a lot. Mario Kart gets away with it because it's freaking Nintendo. But honestly, I know there's a bunch of people that aren't even, willing to pay for, some of the $70, $80 games anymore. By the way, this team racing concept, let me just say, they're cooking with this. I think they have something with this team racing concept. But returning to the price point of the game, Sega, thankfully, is very good at doing sales for their games. I think eventually we'll see a sale, but nowhere near the release. So if the price point is really a contention for you, yes, unfortunately, I think you're probably going to have to wait for it to go on sale. Again, eventually, who knows? Even for the holidays, there's been a couple occasions where Sega does put one of the games that came out in that year around the holidays on a sale. It's not as big of a sale as they inevitably always do for their games. They have a specific month during the year. I think it just happened a month or 2 ago where they drastically put some of their games on sale. Sonic Frontiers, I think, was 10 or 15 bucks the last time it was on sale. And obviously, when that game released, however long ago it was a $60 game. So I'll give Sega their props on that side. But obviously, you would hope that a lot of people are able to purchase this game so you have a good player base at the beginning of this game's lifespan. Because, again, continuing to play this game, I am having a fun time. I think this party feature that they're introducing, unfortunately, as of this moment, it's been going all day. I hopped off for a little bit because you can only take so many losses that depend on your team for so long, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hop off. But I do think a lot of people have been complaining, like, oh, you know, this party game is fun, but like in moderation, because, you know, it starts getting to you, like the interactions that you have. I think queuing up with people, I've seen a lot of parties playing online. Again, none of my friends want to play this game with me for all separate reasons. But I think if you're able to queue up with the squad, I think this mode seems like it would be a lot of fun. I've been seeing clips of people getting in the top 4 for their entire team. So lots of fun. I think, you know, I definitely do hope they push some of this like team concept a little bit more, because it kind of like, you know, it incentivizes you to not just play selfishly to get first place, because as you'll see, there are a couple of matches that I have where like I come in first, but the rest of my team comes in so low that it basically not only negates my position, but like completely cancels it out and then some. We end up doing significantly worse than if I had just, like, you know, actively tried taking out the competition instead of just going for first place. But of course, there are also instances where, because nobody finished in first place, you know, that was the difference maker. You weren't able to get enough points to win. I do think having it be just one race, I don't know. Personally, I would say maybe 2 or 3 to really kind of give some of that pressure of like, okay, we did bad this race, but we have a get back race next one, right? Or it's a first to 3 series, right? Like, so maybe the third game we end up, you know, winning. So I would say increase the amount of races for this mode, but definitely don't just have this mode upon release. We lost the lead there. Oh, that's not good. That one's on me, guys. That one's on me. Now, for the rest of my experience, shout out to the person in my comments who recommended changing the camera settings to dynamic. It has made a vast difference for me. I already thought the game looked good visually. I did have to unfortunately go into my settings and change a couple of the graphics settings, because for whatever reason in that first video that I dropped, there was a few moments where the gameplay got really choppy, and at first I thought it was on my end with recording, but I think it was just that the game, like, I had a certain setting turned up too much, so I had to do some adjustments, but the game has been running really smooth. The dynamic camera, I think, to me really does make a lot of a difference, and overall, again, like, the racing is just smooth. It's chaotic, you know, everything that you would hope from your kart racer. So again, shout out to that person for letting me know in the comments some of the changes to make. And I also do want to actually bring up some of the comments that came up. I know there were a couple people that said, oh, you know, the game looks a little slow. From the point of this recording, it appears that there's 5 different speed settings, and on the first day and even now at this festival, we were locked to the maximum of that third one. I assume the last 2 speed settings are even faster, but to be honest, I think this is already a pretty good speed. I would definitely say it needs to be slightly a little bit more faster, but I think speed-wise, that's not so much the problem. I think what is starting to be a little bit of an issue is just kind of like the item rotation. I think there are some items that are a little bit like harder to tell, especially when there's so many things going on. Like, I'm pretty sure Omochao does rings, but then there are certain instances where I pop Omochao and I just don't see him anymore. And then obviously, you know, you have your shield, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. The magnet took forever for me to figure out that, oh, like, you know, it drops behind you, and like it's a force field that can block shit, but also like, you know, prevent people. The bomb, I think I need more time with it. Like, I realize you can throw it back, but I don't typically throw it back. The wisp, the Nega wisp, like, you know, it has its uses. I now know it also sucks in items, so you should probably use it when you're around items. But overall, like, the game was pretty intuitive. It's really easy to pick up. It's like obviously not rocket science or anything. I think drifting, so far from what I've seen, drifting will have the biggest skill ceiling. I think once you figure out how to drift in this game, you're gonna be doing phenomenal. But obviously, it's gonna take a while for people to get to that point. Also, this is a terrible crumble from my team. Finish! Wow. That was a crumble. That was a... I also think the customization in this game is interesting, right? Because obviously you can choose between a cart and an extreme gear. I assume they play differently, but to be honest, I refuse to play the carts. Like, you know, I'm extreme gear all the way. Why would I use the carts? But, you know, like your kart racers, I assume these vehicles have different attributes. But the thing about Sonic Crossworlds is that you have this, like, feature system where you can customize your widgets or gadgets, I think they're called, which each can do separate things. You can unlock up to 6 slots, and then each gadget has a certain allocation that it needs from your slots, right? So like you have 3 skill slots. You have 3 slot skills that like give you a, you know, huge boost in a certain area, but obviously require you to, like, you know, sacrifice 3 spots for just 1 skill. You can use 6 1 skill value gadgets, right? So there's customization for sure. You can definitely customize your experience to what you like. I personally use all the air trick ones. And my reasoning for that is because I love air tricking in this game. It just feels so nice, especially on extreme gear, to just spam air tricks, you know? I don't even know the exact bonus that you get from them. I just enjoy doing them. And so that's pretty nice. So my skill set that I use in game is all catered towards air boosting, whether it's, you know, increasing the amount of air tricks that you can do. I think like the coins that you get from air tricks, the speed that you perform the tricks at. So there's obviously other skills. You can like fully focus on speed and be even faster, right? Or you can focus on getting certain items more often. So I think that ability to customize your experience is going to allow for the replayability of this game. Obviously, we are very limited on stages, but the few stages that we have gotten to play, I actually really enjoy. And it's nice that they're all like either callbacks to the games or just like original locations inspired by, you know, the actual game settings. And then as for this party feature, the fact that, you know, there's different extra objectives for each one. Obviously, there's the race that you're seeing here, but in this one, it was, you got extra, the team that had the most tapping into each other got additional points at the end. Oh. Okay, blue team I think has the best chance. Yeah, blue team's up by a little bit, but who tapped the most? I feel like I got a couple taps in there. It's basically whoever tapped the most wins. Let's go! We finally did it! Alright, that's it, dubs. First match with tap bonus, already won. This is my shit right here. This is my mode. This is my mode. So overall, I think they have something here. I'm sure there are other modes that we have yet to play, but even this festival have, you know, party mode that, you know, has these different objectives that will, at least during this network session, they were rotating every half an hour. So we had, I think the very first slot that I played in was like what team collected the most rings. This one that you're looking at was like what team tapped into each other the most. And I did play a little bit of like what team does the most air tricks, you know, during the rigs. So those objectives kind of can be the equalizer, but obviously if your overall team races really well and places really high, sometimes there are scenarios where like it doesn't even matter if you got the objective or not, you just solidify your win. So cool feature, great experimentation, I think. Obviously I hope that there are more modes, but already off to a great start. I'm hopeful for obviously different stages, more characters. They've already announced, you know, some of the collaborations that they're going to have, but they're supposed to have even more. And obviously people are also expecting new characters from the Sonic lore, right? Like, I know some people are expecting to see Tails' variation from Sonic Prime 9, right? Which is like this evil Tails, essentially. And then I assume there are other characters that are going to be released. I think I've been seeing some like leaked dialogue for Sage from Sonic Frontiers, which at least when I was playing, I don't remember her being unlocked. But she might be unlocked now. I'm not entirely too sure. But anyway, I think characters there's going to be plenty of stages. There's going to be plenty of. I think there's going to be a lot packed into this game. Ultimately, it's still up to you to decide whether you end up wanting to purchase the game or not. Personally, I think if I had more friends to play with, to be 100% honest, that were willing to just buy the game from the beginning, I think I would definitely do it. But like I've already spoken with like 2 of my friends that were like, oh, it's like $70, and obviously I had explained the difference between the $70 and $50 version. But like people are a little hesitant to pay for another kart racer. When like we just got Mario Kart World. So like I don't blame people for not wanting to purchase the game. Obviously, as a longtime Sonic fan, I would love nothing more than but this game to succeed. But I do think this game will be successful. I think it's already caught the attention of a lot of different people. I've been seeing a lot of creators playing it that are both Sonic creators, but also outside of the community. And so, you know, I think it's in a good spot. I think it's going to be in a good spot. Wait for the sale. If you enjoyed this network session and you didn't want to, you know, drop all the money at the beginning, definitely wait for the sale. It's going to go on sale. Mark my words. These games always do. And with that, I'm going to call it good here for this video. Stay tuned for another one coming sometime soon. I've been having a really good time playing this game. Suddenly, I'm back to being a creator. So I'm not a Sonic channel, but you know, for all my Valorant people and all the other games that I play on this channel, I will eventually make games for that, videos for that. But for now, I have some Sonic stuff cooking up. So let me be. All right. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, comment down below anything you think I should do with this before the network session goes away. And that's that for me. Have a good one.